So you've created an app that you think is great, and you've tested it and found good results. But now you have to find new users if you want to make any money. Failing to do so will mean that taking the woman out you love for dinner will mean getting creative with ramen noodles. The beef flavor is just so refined. Did you want chicken flavor instead?
This episode of XDA Developer TV is brought to you by Sony Mobile and the new Sony Xperia Tablet Z, now on sale at store.sony.com/tablet. Be sure to check out Sony Mobile's YouTube channel at youtube.com/Sony Xperia Dev.
Developer World.
Welcome back, XDA crowd. My name is Jayce, and today we talk about how not to be just ramen profitable. What is ramen profitable, you ask? Ramen profitable is when you take your app business, or any business for that matter, and you're only really sustainable if your expenses are extremely low, i.e. you can only afford to eat ramen noodles. That is ramen profitable. Now, Dave McClure of 500 Startups, a very well-known angel investor for independent app developers, has described an intelligent app acquisition strategy as the pirate strategy, and it goes just like this. Acquisition, activation, retention, referral, and revenue. Hence the pirate term, ARR. So I wanted to find someone who really knew what they were talking about and help build a tool to help us ramen noodlers. Meet Ben Fox of Tapstream. Tapstream is a marketing apps analytic tool that helps us gain empirical evidence about what actually works and what is just fluff. Ben fills us in.
My name is Ben Fox. I'm the CTO of Tapstream. And Tapstream is a marketing analytics platform for app developers. So it tells you where your users are coming from, how much they're worth, and what different sources you should reinvest in for user acquisition on the web. Everybody knows that there are a ton of apps, especially for Android. And one of the problems that app developers face is finding customers. And finding these customers isn't just a matter of submitting your app to the App Store and then hoping for the best and hoping that you're featured by the App Store owner like Google or Microsoft. You have to, as an app developer, go out and do marketing. This might seem obvious, but there's a non-obvious problem in the Android and Windows app stores, and that is that app developers, when they're doing this marketing, have a really hard time measuring results. So if you just had, say, a website that sold shoes and you wanted to buy an advertisement for it from Google, measuring results there is very easy, just through conversion tracking that's been available for 15 years. But the app stores, in an effort to protect users, have siloed a lot of that data away from the app developers, and that prevents the app developers from reaching their biggest audiences and their biggest fans. And so they use a tool like Tapstream to kind of punch through that walled garden and get that conversion data essentially into the hands of who it belongs to, who we see it belonging to, which is the app developers. Sure, so let's imagine that you have an app that has a social sharing function in it, and this is maybe just a simple way for users to recommend the app to other users. And let's say that as the app developer, you wanted to reward your users who shared it with the highest number of their friends. So maybe out of your 10,000 users, 100 of them have really big Twitter accounts. And when they tweet about your app, you want to be able to measure exactly how effective that was at driving users. And so with Tapstream, you can give your users a special link to tweet. And that special link, when they tweet it, will give them the ability to will give the app developer the ability to measure exactly how good, essentially, you are at driving social engagement and driving new installs for the app developer. I mean, Tapstream is most helpful when you're trying to deliver your app through a lockdown app store. So if you're one of those lucky guys who gets to make apps but doesn't have to deal with that problem, then not only do you not need Tapstream, but also hats off to you for not playing in the walled garden. From my perspective, Tapstream is the sort of solution to alleviating the guilt that you have about not promoting your work well enough. Everybody knows that you're supposed to have a Twitter and you're supposed to have a Facebook page and all this other stuff. I mean, leaving aside paid user acquisition, when we were doing app development, we felt this was just kind of overriding angst, I guess, that we were leaving a lot on the table. And Tapstream is the solution for that, because it shows you either that your assumption is correct and that these channels are as worthless as you always thought they were, and you can finally just kind of cross them off, Or maybe if you're lucky that you were completely wrong, and that with a very small investment into these less development core activities, you can really change maybe even the fortunes of your entire business, or at least make an optimization that drives significant revenue, or lets you interact with your users in a new way, or anything like that. It's free if you have less than 10,000 monthly active users, and that allows you to track your website user to app user engagement levels. It allows you to track an unlimited number of unique traffic sources using unique URLs that you create on our special tafs.io shortener, which is basically like a bit.ly shortener that also allows you to track conversion rates of app users through it. So other app analytic tools really focus on measuring the value of a user once you already have that user. And we do that too, but what we tell you is what the top of the funnel looks like. So not just how much that user is worth in terms of how much he's talking about your app or using your app, or how much he's buying of in-app purchases or something like that, but we also tell you where that user came from, so that you can kind of correlate the performance of the app user in terms of how much they make the app developer against where that app user came from. So you might find out that you get a lot of your users from Facebook, but they don't actually use your app very often, or you get a lot of users from Twitter, but they use your app every day. And so you can kind of focus your user acquisition efforts based on where your most valuable users come from. We've seen some really big success stories on Facebook, but Facebook has noticed those as well. And what that's caused is kind of a change in their promotional ecosystem, where it's a lot harder to get your content out on Facebook for free. Even if it's user-generated content, even if it's coming from your app users, Facebook really wants its cut now. So in my personal opinion, the first place to try is Twitter. It's super easy, easily consumable shares. It's very easy to track, especially if you're using something like TapStream. Twitter's very easy to write against and integrate with. I just think that if you're just getting started in app promotion and you want to try some social promotion, Twitter is your first stop.
That was good. That was good.